Sobrang di ko pa mapaniwala. Maraming salamat sa suporta. Sana patuloy yung suporta niyo sa
Said it many times. Nobody in this world, Russian athletes or Belarusian athletes, support the war. Nobody. How can we support the war? Nobody.
What is going through your minds right now?
I'm so blank.
The whole tennis world had to pay attention when the Queen spoke. The sport had reached a breaking point because to Sabalenka's remarkable defense, the fan war that split Asia, and the prodigy, who might be losing her magic. There was an overwhelming stillness in the press conference room. The sound of a tennis ball dropping was audible. The tennis world had been tiptoeing around the elephant in the room, muttering in corners and treading on eggshells for days, if not weeks, without ever voicing what everyone was thinking. Like a pressure cooker about to blow up, the tension increased. Fueled by a poisonous mixture of locker room politics, social media warfare, dubious officiating, and an awkward quiet that implied people in positions of authority were praying it would all go away. Then, on Monday mornings, Aryna Sabalenka, the current world #1, and the lady who hits tennis balls harder than most of us, set off her alarms, took the microphone, and completely changed our lives. She didn't sidestep the topic or conceal herself behind a well-thought-out, impersonal answer. She chose her words while staring directly into the turmoil. Only 4 of them delivered one of her trademark serves with force. She's not incorrect. The story didn't just change in that one instant. It completely collapsed. The meticulously built wall of denial in the establishment fell apart. All of a sudden, everyone was free to express their thoughts. For tennis authorities, what started out as a young player's annoyance with a system meant to keep her in check has evolved into something considerably more hazardous. A complete revolution. When the Queen of the Court openly supports the rising princess of the Philippines, this is player solidarity at its rarest and strongest. Something fundamental has changed when the top-ranked lady jeopardizes her connections with tournament directors and officials to stand up for someone who is still vying for a berth in the top 50. Fans took notice right away. Social media exploded. When the biggest voices in the sport decide to stand up for the underdogs, officials were compelled to have really awkward meetings, and players all around the circuit started discreetly reevaluating who really has the authority. Welcome to the WTA's new era, where a single statement can start a global firestorm. Silence is no longer the safe course of action, and outdated regulations are no longer in effect. A contested line call or a dubious overrule are no longer at issue. Respect, equity, and the difference between those who are taught to shut up and show gratitude and those who are given a voice in the sport are at issue. Today, we're delving further than anybody else into the crisis rocking women's tennis. The rivalry between 2 Asian superpowers is escalating into a full-fledged fan war, and the young prodigy's unexpected crisis has everyone wondering if the pressure has finally gotten to be too much. Everyone is talking about this story, but no one really knows why Sabalenka's 4 words might have completely changed the balance of power in sports, why certain players' next match might need security akin to that of a heavyweight boxing match, or why one of tennis's most promising young players might be dealing with the biggest crisis of her career. Cortiva Tennis is this. This ride is just getting started, so fasten your seatbelt. The Alex-Ella dispute hasn't even come close to being resolved. Everyone has been acting as though nothing is wrong while the virus stealthily grows beneath the thinnest of bandages. Ella has been negotiating the perilous seas of elite women's tennis for the majority of the last year. You've seen a pattern if you've been paying close attention. She consistently finds herself on the wrong side of what officials kindly refer to as interpretation. Whether it's late overruled calls, line calls, or those crucial moments where an umpire's call has the power to totally change the course of a match. To be clear, this is neither a conspiracy theory nor an allegation of a coordinated attempt to suppress her. Perhaps as old as sports itself, the tale is as old as tennis itself. The established names are given the benefit of the doubt, the rookie is squeezed, the newbie receives difficult calls, and the upstart must prove herself twice. Anyone who has battled their way up from the qualifications will tell you that the game is different when you're not yet a member of the club, even though it's not stated anywhere and is an official policy. Ella is unique because, following her remarkable run to the Miami Open semifinals last year, she stopped silently taking it. a run that includes defeating the number 2 player in the world at the time in a match that stunned the tennis community. She concluded that she deserved the freedom to express her opinions. Additionally, insiders viewed her recent remarks regarding officiating and double standards, that is, how some players appear to get every close call while others must win despite the officials rather than with their assistants, as risky, even career-limiting. Because professional tennis has an unspoken rule. The hand that feeds you is not something you bite. When you're still trying to make a name for yourself in the system, you don't criticize it. When you're still outside of the top 50, still relying on wild cards for some tournaments and demonstrating that she belongs in the conversation, you most certainly don't speak up. Maya Andreeva faced a fast and foreseeable retaliation. Too much too quickly. Entitled and haughty. Every part of the tennis media was full of critics. Former athletes who were never subjected to social media scrutiny throughout their own careers suddenly developed strong judgments on current athletes who lack self-awareness. According to anonymous people who were too shy to reveal their identities, Eva had trouble building a reputation as a div and needed to acquire humility. The wagons were ringed by the institution. The message was obvious and the pressure increased. Express regret. Take a stroll back. If you don't figure out where you fit in, your employment options will become scarce. She lost to Aryna Sabalenka in straight sets in the round of 16 of the Australian Open. A typical 18-year-old would be ecstatic to advance to the 4th round of a Grand Slam. A strong foundation for a prosperous career. However, Eva is not your typical 18-year-old. She advanced to the French Open semifinals, won 2 WTA 10,000 titles the previous year, and entered the conversation as a current contender rather than a potential champion. Not only were expectations high, but they were enormous. And departure in the 4th round was unsuccessful. It was a letdown, a retreat, proof that something had gone wrong. However, the loss wasn't the true issue. Matches are lost by players. Even the greatest players lose games they ought to win. The way Eva lost worried onlookers. When things went wrong, she was unable to come up with answers. Instead of rising to the occasion, she seemed to shrink under pressure. And one man, one of the most astute tacticians in tennis history, has identified precisely what's going on. Brad Gilbert, the renowned coach and author of the book Winning Ugly, is a tactical genius who can identify exactly what's going wrong in a match within just 30 seconds. The renowned coach and tactical mastermind Brad Gilbert posted a diagnosis on social media that was both tragic and catchy. He refers to Andreeva's condition as a fear hand. The phrase went viral right away and was nasty, witty, and unquestionably true. Gilbert clarified that under pressure, her forehand has become spinny, timid, and prone to mistakes, making it impossible for her to play aggressively when it counts most. This is more than a technical criticism. It's a tactical catastrophe. Her hallmark weapon is now a liability because every opponent knows exactly where to strike. This is a dreadful situation for any professional athlete. Raw talent and the element of surprise allow you free wins when your weakness is known early in a career, but gradually the locker room catches up. Everyone instantly understands how to take advantage of her forehand under duress as coaches gather video, players share notes, and patterns start to show. Eva appeared utterly confused against one of the tour's most astute strategists, Aryna Sabalenka. The story was revealed by the numbers. She only won 59% of her first serve points, which highlights how her forehand failure resulted in a devastating loss. Not only were the figures poor, but Eva's talent and ranking made them unacceptable. She was reacting rather than producing since she was unable to control play or enforce her game. She played to avoid losing rather than to win, defending when she ought to have attacked. And the terror hand was at the heart of it all. However, this is not only a technical issue. The fear hand involves more than just grip, swing path, and stroke mechanics. It has to do with psychology. It's the reluctance that arises when you become aware that everyone is observing. As you get ready to hit a forehand down the line, there's a hint of doubt. It's the worry that you might fall short, let the critics down, or prove them wrong. It's really hard to get rid of that anxiety once it takes hold and becomes a part of your inner monologue. Gilbert issued a clear and concise warning. Eva won't be able to compete well in tournaments if this isn't resolved quickly. Not now, not someday, not in the near future. Long-term solutions are insufficient. This is urgent, immediate, and short-term. Tennis has a very short window of opportunity. Furthermore, Eva has already accomplished more at the age of 18 than the majority of athletes do throughout their careers. Millions of dollars in prize money, numerous important titles, and a global number 5 position. This is the harsh reality of professional tennis. Though, if you are incapable of evolving, none of that counts. The sport necessitates ongoing modification. This year, what worked the previous year is examined and challenged, and unaddressed deficiencies become liabilities. Eva is currently at a turning point in her life. She may face the mental obstacles that have made her weapon a vulnerability, accept Gilbert's diagnosis, rebuild her forehand from the ground up, and come out stronger. Alternatively, she can choose to ignore the issue, tell herself that it's just a difficult time, and watch her ranks decline as rivals take advantage of the now-known weakness. Prodigies who are unable to make the leap are numerous in tennis history. A career-long champion and a cautionary tale are frequently distinguished by their readiness to acknowledge that something is flawed and take all necessary steps to correct it. Eva is under tremendous pressure. Most teenagers are thinking about school, their first relationships, and self-discovery at Snorts, 18. She's juggling multi-million-dollar corporate commitments, national expectations, ongoing international media attention, and now a highly publicized prognosis that her hallmark shot has turned into a liability. Some athletes thrive in such conditions, using hardship as motivation. Others disintegrate, allowing uncertainty to overwhelm them. Results deteriorate as confidence wanes. The cycle keeps going until all of a sudden you're not in the top 10. In the upcoming months, which Eva will we see? Can she overcome her fear hand, regain her self-assurance, and demonstrate that she is the generational genius that everyone thought she was? Or will this be the beginning of a gradual descent from prodigy to simply another old-fashioned tale? Her career will be defined by her responses. And according to Brad Gilbert's analysis, we'll probably find out pretty soon. Aryna Sabalenka is simultaneously presenting herself as the tour's matriarch, the sage elder who has survived the conflicts and is now utilizing her position to defend the coming generation. It wasn't just one incident that she defended Eva. It was a leadership statement that she prioritizes legacy and justice over awards and rankings. She is opposing a system that punishes young athletes for speaking up against authority, allows officials to make dubious decisions without being held accountable, and allows the establishment to defend itself at the price of justice. She put relationships with influential people at risk by speaking up, but she did it because she felt it was the right thing to do. In the meantime, Eva is becoming more than just a tennis player. She is becoming a movement, a cultural force, and a representation of something greater. She's doing more than just winning games and moving up the rankings. Even so, she's making stadiums packed, compelling the top players in the world to take public positions, and turning millions of people who had little interest in tennis into ardent supporters. When taken as a whole, their tales highlight a critical juncture in women's tennis, a conflict between tradition, skill, and morality that has the potential to change the game for years to come. The democratization of tennis is exemplified by Alex Ella, evidence that you don't have to be from a conventional powerhouse, possess limitless resources, or conform to the idealized image of a tennis champion. She competes against the world's top players despite being from the Philippines, a nation with almost little tennis infrastructure. A compelling narrative with the potential to transform sports. Wang Senu supplies the counterweight in the meanwhile. The well-known Chinese tennis machine won't give up the limelight without a struggle. China has made billion-dollar investments in government-backed talent pipelines, top-notch training facilities, and sports development. In order for sports to succeed, Wang is bringing the edge, the competition, and the drive to incite conflict and rivalry. As her notoriety and influence increase, she can turn into the antagonist and face criticism. Eva, the reminder that talent and potential are brittle, is at the heart of it all. In the midst of the success tales, She serves as both a warning and a sobering reminder that even the brightest stars can flicker and fade if they neglect their trade. This 2026 WTA circuit is unlike any other that we have ever seen. There is a challenge to established hierarchies. Athletes are leveraging their platforms for purposes other than endorsements, and barriers between players and fans are disintegrating. In previously unimaginable ways, they are supporting one another and speaking out against injustice. Elo is correct, according to Sabalenka. A declaration on honesty and justice. In a show of pride and rivalry, Wang stakes her claim. Eva's forehand is identified by Gilbert as a fear hand, a harsh reality of the demands of high-level play. While each comment is significant on its own, taken as a whole, they depict a sport in transition that struggles with representation, justice, and what it means to be a champion in the contemporary period. Right now, the only thing that matters is what comes next. Does Sabalenka's involvement make a lasting difference or just make headlines? Does the rivalry between Ella and Wang lead to a rivalry that intensifies social media turmoil or fizzles out? Will Andrea overcome her fear hand, regain her career path, and demonstrate the generational talent she was destined to be? Or will she end up being just another tale of unrealized potential? And the majority of the time, neither Belarusian athletes nor any Russian athletes in the globe support the conflict. No one. How can we help the war effort? No one. No. How does it feel to be making your main draw debut with Melbourne Alex? You had an amazing year last year. It feels fantastic. I'm ecstatic. I'm surprised and excited.